Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our ongoing campaign playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Whoop. Playing an adventure set in Magic the Gathering's plane-sized city, Ravnica. Oof. And with me today are the stars of the Down and Out in Precinct 6 campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what guild do you owe allegiance to? First up is Mo. Oh, Mo, you are muted.
Yeah. I keep it off. My coughing. Sorry, I'm Morris. I'm playing Dr. Cardinal, who is an Izzet, a member of the Izzet Guild, and he is a level 5 artificer.
Very nice.
Alchemist.
Next up is Ingolf.
Hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Basul, who is a Loxodon and also a bard, as you can see in the nice picture there. And he's with the Azorius Senate.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Kabobo, who is a goblin celestial warlock, and he is with the Orzhov Syndicate.
Very nice. All right, guys, so last session saw us back in the Zunax Tower, exploring that further. You made some new friends, some better friends than others. What happened last time? See if I can give some reminders here, some visual aids. There's one.
Yeah. So we met a ghost, a former member of the Azorius Senate, who was instrumental in, I think, getting this building to work or something like that. And he warned us of them and him and there and so on. And so it seemed like there were two people after us. One was the Gruul fire monster, let's call it this way, and yeah, Garthus, and we barely escaped him, and we wanted to reunite with our Boros Legion friends, who once again left us alone and couldn't be found when there was trouble. And now we were in this in the basement, and we found this how was she called? This eerie Dimir woman who was.
Oh, the Dimir, the one who appeared to be your. Let's see here. You had Lucian Vey was your tailor, but she looks very similar to that.
Yeah.
That is where. Are there any other revelations that you guys found last night? Oh, yeah, in the basement of the tower is where you found this lush and rich arboreum with a giant tree in the middle of it, and a bunch of other trees and seemingly sunlight coming down as well. You also passed above that the like basically a floor that filled up with an apparatus of some kind that Dr. Iago or Dr. Cardinal believed may have been the engine that drove whatever this ship does, or ship the tower does. Anything else I'm missing, guys?
Sounds like everything.
Okay. Oh, and you also I think you identified or tentatively at least identified the body that you found in that spore-filled laboratory as being the Senator Balistan, the white geist that you ran into. Mm-hmm. So, for no particular reason, let's just go over to this map here. So, when we last saw Trovik, our Gruul clan Minotaur, he had just sat down for a moment against the tree, and I don't remember actually. Like, I watched this again last night, but I don't remember why, Vessel, you relit the lantern. But I know you did. Do you remember why it was that you decided to light the lantern a second time?
Yeah, I was just curious whether there was someone invisible here to see.
Yes.
Because I couldn't believe that this kind of, I don't know, some kind of enchanted forest was just living below the tower without anyone here.
Yeah.
So we had this feeling that there should be someone watching us.
So the big yew tree is what Trovic is now dozing in front of. And as you were looking around, what you spotted right over here... I do have... Let me make sure I got that. Oh, someone's mic is up. The gain's up a little high. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so it looks like everyone can see, so you guys can see right over here. Alright, more important, I guess, Vasul. He spotted this thing, kind of watching you from the shadows. And when you lock eye contact with it, it seems to realize that you can see it. And let's roll some initiative. So, let me grab my... Add a turn here. Here we go. Ooh, mind drinking. That doesn't sound good. Alrighty. Stuff out. Stuff here. And... did not record her stats. But.
This is her by the tree?
That it is, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can put the, I'll put a name on her.
I guess so much for the talking, yes?
Well...
We're just setting up so everyone can take turns here. Alright. Oof. Alrighty. So then, first up, let me zoom in a scooch here. You guys can spare a look over, and you can see from the drool that's coming from his mouth, it appears that Trovic has dozed off. He has been looking quite tired the last little while. Kabobo, you're up first. The light, the lantern does not just reveal to the person holding the lantern; it reveals to everyone, whoever that light is going. So you guys would all see this.
Okay, because that was my first question. Did I see her? Yeah, so I do. Okay. I think that the first thing he would do is just say, he would turn and face her and just say, "Greetings." Valustra? That's her name? Or we think that's her name?
I'll leave it for you guys. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's what he's saying.
Yes,
I'm not pronouncing it. He's just saying, "Greetings, Valustra." Valustra?
Okay.
I wrote it down.
Give us a persuasion check, please. See how I think you're a charming little goblin, but
Yep.
see how that. Nice.
Oh,
11.
nice.
That second one would have been good.
Oh, wait. Oh, my stupid mouse has a double click problem. I don't know why it's been doing it.
Oh man. Okay, so you say that, and her head sort of snaps to the side. She seems to be hiding like as close as she can to the trunk of that tree, and to be embraced by as much of the shadow of the tree as she can. And she looks at you, and then sort of looks past you as well too. And then on her turn, actually I can change her name as well too. There we go. She gestures at you, Kabobo, and says something. And let's see here. Does not roll enough. She tries to do something to you, and you feel a wave of exhaustion hit you, and you kind of stagger back, and you realize that she just tried to magically force you to sleep.
Okay.
And then we use a bonus action to... Let's see here. I think. Let me measure this here. I'm hearing a ticking of something, guys. So I heard a ticking. It sounded like an old clock ticking down for a moment there. I don't know what that was. She won't do it. Take any other action. Dr. Cardinal, what are you doing?
Did I notice her actually trying to cast a magical effect on them?
Yes, she moved her hands and gestured it in such a way that you can tell a spell went off of some kind.
And I'm going to point the crossbow at her and say, we don't need to fight up, and sort of like effectively point it at her. If she takes any more offensive action, she's going to get shot.
Okay. Now hold on. I do want to check and see how readying actions work because...
Oh, yeah, hang on. I've got my crypt.
I don't know that you can in 5th edition.
Yeah, because I don't think, like...
I think you change your initiative? I'm not sure.
I can do a ready.
So hold on, I'm gonna
It's a
look it
little
up.
different. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's the same thing as it is in others, where it's just you ready it, and then it's taken as a reaction, so you can't use your reaction for anything else. Anything else you're doing, Dr. Cardinal?
Is there anywhere I can take cover? It's part of a small move.
Not really, no.
No, in that case, I will just do that.
Vasul.
Yeah, I would try to talk to her, actually. So, milady, we come in peace. We were here sent by the Azorius Senate and the Gruul clan and also the Dimir to get this place back in order.
Okay. Kabobo.
Let's see. Yeah. Do I have... Just want to check my spells real quick.
Okay.
Oh. I'm gonna cast... I'm gonna cast Friends on her. I know it's a very short spell time frames. I think I'll click on it. It's only like a minute, I think.
Okay.
But it might give us enough time to... Oh, sorry, she's hostile. I can't do it.
Okay.
Sorry. Well, I'm assuming she is. Maybe not. Maybe
She has taken. She's tried to affect you with spells. Yeah, so she counts as
So then I could
hostile.
use. This is more powerful. I could do this one. It's higher level. It probably doesn't matter if they're hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Just gives them a save. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's right. I took all these charm powers. I'm going to try and use them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So then she is entitled to a save. Then. So what does your spell look like as you're manifesting the charm spell?
Yeah, I think like they're just like more and more powerful versions of sort of the same effect, where like the staff that he's carrying, it's almost like it gives off, it's got that light on it, and it's like the light just becomes a really warm, friendly glow, and sort of it's like his aura is projected. So like he just seemed, you know, like he puts on a big smile as he's gesturing, and it's just like he's a warm glow sort of goes from him over to her.
Okay.
And sort of the more powerful levels of this that he does, the more he glows.
Yeah. Okay. So give me a second here. I just need to quickly go.
I mean, this one lasts an hour. Oh yeah, it's got some length. It's 14 is my DC save.
Okay.
Does it put that in the text? No.
Yeah, it's above the charm person thing. Spell save DC is 14.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that was on the friends one though.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the same thing though. You're in 5e. It doesn't scale with a spell level.
Right. I'm just saying it must be in the text of the friends one.
Where the DC is?
In the yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't include that in there. All right. You guys haven't attacked it, but it's attacking you.
Yes.
So I'm giving you advantage on the save. But I am going to roll save in chat. So let's see here. First save. There we go. So advantage 22. She stops and kind of shakes her head, and then Vasul and Kabobo and Dr. Cardinal, you all hear in your minds, leave this tower! And then she is going to gesture. Dr. Cardinal, you can take your, looks like she's casting a spell. Do you want to take your shot?
I will.
Okay.
She did not react at all to what Vasul said.
Well, she said that thing to you. You all three of you heard that in your mind. This was her first opportunity to respond. So she is hit.
And that is a magic weapon, by the way.
Okay. And let's see here. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to remember how spell interruption works in 5e. So we haven't had this come up yet. Or is that only on concentration spells? 203, 204. Yeah, it's only on concentration spells. DC 10 versus half. Interesting. Okay. All right. So then, I need a. Let's see here. Constitution save from Dr. Cardinal, I believe. Wisdom save from you, Dr. Cardinal, please. Nice. So something has tried to affect you as well too. There is a magic that was trying to seize you in place, and then let's see here. You can see she then will move. 6, and as she's running across the sun, you can see there's steam coming off of her, as if, you know, like food taking fresh from an oven or something like that, or, you know, exhalation. And then there is a sound of something collapsing in on itself, and she vanishes. And 2 reappears beneath the eaves of the tree here. That is it for her turn. Dr. Cardinal, what are you doing?
Well, I think shoot her again.
Okay, hold on. So I'll be at disadvantage because of the range. So that's still a hit, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you reload, fire another crossbow at her. All right, is that it for you?
I think I'm going to move slightly to form a line with Kabobo.
Okay. So, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. So I think I will just follow here. So let's say go here, and just mock her and say that she's afraid and has to hide in the shadows.
Nice.
So let's see whether my vicious mockery does anything.
Nice. So she needs to make a save. It's a wisdom save. See, she does not have advantage on this, just regular wisdom. Success.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so, but she takes damage though, right? No damage on a save.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, so then, are you guys 5th level or are you guys 3rd level?
5th.
You're 5th level, aren't you? Okay, yeah, I thought so. All right, so you try to reach out, and her mind is much more disciplined, I think, than what you've seen elsewhere in here. Because you were quite successful against Garsuth, weren't you? So you try and reach out for this, and unfortunately, it does not get through to her. You do see her white eyes kind of narrow and glare at you. Kabobo, what are you doing?
Well, I guess it's time for some fireworks.
Okay.
Sorry, let's see. If I need to move. No, I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure that this distance is like 120 on this spell. Yeah.
Okay. 120. Hey.
Terrible rolls.
Great. You have 6 points of Astonishing Fortune if you wish to re-roll.
No, I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Blasting off the tree beside her.
Yeah. Flashes some light behind. Then it is her turn. And she glares at you, Vessel, and says, and again, you can hear this in her, she's not speaking out loud, it's in your mind. She says, and you should stay free from the shadows. And she runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up here, and then once again vanishes and appears right next to you. And then, let's see here. First, she's going to try and bite you. And your AC is what, Vessel?
15.
15?
Yes.
15. Okay, I need an 8 to hit you. I rolled a 5. So her fangs come in towards you, and you're, having spoken to your tailor, you know what's going on. You kind of, and one of your tusks kind of pushes her to the side so she can't get her bite on you. But the claw comes around, because the bite, if she is a Dimir vampire like your tailor, that's what opens the way for them to rob you of your memories. And misses again. So she swings at you, and again, Vessel, you, I don't know if you got your bagpipes out or what, but you managed to get that in the way so she can't get a meaningful hit on you.
Yeah, that's called musical defense.
Yeah, exactly. It's called my defensive note. Then it is Dr. Cardinal's turn. What are you doing, Dr. Cardinal? Mo, you are too low for me to see your mouth. I don't know if you're muted or not.
Sorry, no.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you're speaking or not.
Right, I'm just gonna. All I've got left is just shooting her because I'm burnt out of spells.
Okay. Make sure you're keeping track of your crossbow bolts too.
It's the infusion, so it's effectively an auto reloader. No.
Right, but that just means you run out of them faster. Make sure you keep track of how many...
it creates the bolt as part of the infusion.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay. I mean, that's a bunch of bullshit, but...
A magical bullshit is
Dear
this?
Wizards of the Coast, the Artificer is horseshit. Signed, Kev. Okay, so then, Dr. Cardinal, you went over and again, you fire, and it cuts across her back. Is that it for you?
Am I having any effect on her?
What's that?
Can I see any effect when I hit her?
You're seeming to hit her, but she's all robes and she's floating in the air, and you know.
It is actually because of the infusion. It is a magical weapon, so that's magical damage.
You've told me that every time.
Okay, yeah, that's just
so. You know.
Okay.
I'd say just do better. Vasul, you're up next. What are you doing?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'm not equipped to fight her really, but oh well, whatever. So, I just I think I will just talk to her again and say, well, even my tailor fights better than you.
That sounds like mockery to me.
Yeah. So let's try this once again, and I would say his name. Wait a minute, his name was
Lucius Fay, wasn't it?
Yeah, Lucian Fay. So maybe she knows him. I don't know, just a long shot. But
Yeah.
All right. So let me see here. She does not, unfortunately. But I mean, you know, someone who's been locked in this tower for 10,000 years.
yeah, just
Her social life may be limited, but let's see here. Okay, so it's a DC 14 save here.
yeah.
Now, Vasul, I will give you a chance to give us an Arcana check, please.
Arcana check, okay. Yeah, okay. So I don't know. I guess she's a vampire.
Why is this lady so angry with me? Is she the gardener? Did we step? Is we gonna keep off the grass sign that we missed, guys?
Yeah.
All right then, Kabobo, you are up next, and I'll let you open with an Arcana check as well, for free.
All right. Oh,
That's good enough. DC 10 is all you need. Because you heard her in your mind. She's you're not hearing it out loud. You're all hearing this in your mind. But her comment about the shadows, and seeing where she has positioned herself, and seeing the steam come off her. The Orzhov Syndicate is no stranger to. I mean, the corporeal undead is not something you generally truck in. It's usually spirits. But daylight is anathema to most of those things. Really throws them off their game.
Yeah. Right.
So, for instance, if something did have difficulty being in the daylight, they may have disadvantage on things like saves and attacks and skill checks.
Yes. I mean, I have just the light spell.
You can assume, guys, that the shadows being cast on the map here are present in the game.
Right. Okay, I'll cast light on something that Vasul's holding. What's something that Vasul is holding that's... I don't remember his character portrait, or if maybe you could tell me.
I think I'm holding the lantern.
Oh. Yeah, why don't I just cast it right on the lantern? I don't know if that would break it.
You would know like there's a difference as far as the undead are concerned. There's a difference between light, which just makes them spooky and you see them, and daylight, which is what causes issues for them.
Oh, I see. Okay, well then what I'll do... I think I took
Which I suppose means you can make another conclusion based on the artificial light that's coming down from the ceiling.
Wait, 1 second. Oh, right. I did take this. Let's check 10 feet. Yeah. So Kabobo will move here.
Okay.
Over by Dr. Cardinal, and I will use my Eldritch Blast again on her. Come on, hit her.
Yes, solid hit.
I use the aspect that I took of my Eldritch Blast
Nice.
to shove her 10 feet in a straight line.
All right, so she gets thrown out of the shadows and away from Vasul, and again you can see the steam beginning to come off her. She is not happy to be out in the light like that. All right. Anything else, Kabobo?
He just laughs.
All right, then it is Valustra's turn. She looks up at you, Kabobo, and there's a... and she disappears. Reappears behind you, smoldering, and she's going to try and bite you. What's your AC?
Not amazing. It is 14.
14. I need a 7 to hit you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. 15! Solid. Those. Oh, wait. I'm rolling with a disadvantage because she's in the sun.
Oh.
So let's see. Roll number 2. Number 2's a 5! She misses you. So she comes in, tries to get her fangs into you, but the steaming, it sounds like a meat on a griddle right now, and you kind of are able to pull yourself forward. She does try and tag you with one of her claws. I roll with disadvantage. A 2 is probably the lowest I'm going to roll. So she's just flailing around, maddened, and that is the
She
end
might not have been in the sunlight for centuries.
Yeah.
To be clear, right?
So then, I mean, when you first spotted her, she looked deeply uncomfortable to be in this forest as well, too. Yeah. It's like the inconspicuous, creepy, thing in the woods. Dr. Cardinal, what are you doing?
I'm going to move forward and try and grapple her to keep her in the sunlight.
So you're going to drop your crossbow?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you drop your crossbow. So you're going to make a contested athletics or acrobatics check. Which one do you want to use?
Cool. Acrobatics. No. Or the other one?
Athletics. That's why they put 20s on dice. Let's see how you do. Which one are you doing? 17. Pretty good. Okay, so let's see here. For her, I got a +6 on her. I rolled a 19. So you go in, she throws herself off.
Are you in the sunlight?
Disadvantage. Hold on. Yeah. Wait, let's see here. I got a 16. So no, you grabbed hold of her. She is grabbed.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, you're not going anywhere. All right, Vasul, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think I'll run over and just fix her with my trunk as well, so that she has to stay in the sunlight.
Okay, go ahead.
Can't move. So I'll go here.
Sure. Go ahead and give us a what do you call it? Athletics or acrobatics check.
Yeah,
now remember, roll 2 dice this time.
Oh. I think I will spend Astonishing Fortune to reroll this 2.
Sounds good. Go ahead. 19. That beats my natural 1. So.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so you got a hold of her. She needs to make 2 successful checks to free herself, unless she's got some other ability to get free. Kabobo, what are you doing?
I know it's kind of crazy, but I think that I should grab her too. He's short. He's gonna grab out of her legs.
Okay.
And he's gonna sit and he's gonna say, "We're gonna hold you here," as he tries to grab her.
Okay. So I'll make pick either acrobatics or athletics.
Which I'm looking at acrobatics.
I got a 19. 19 is my lowest roll in this one.
Yeah, and 5 is my total.
Okay. Well, I did get on the upside. I've blown a nat 20 on a third grapple. So yeah, you're trying to get a hold of her. Her legs are still flailing around underneath there, and you're kind of being kicked back, like, oh, we're gonna hold you here.
Yeah. It's still the threat that I think is what he wants to make sure she gets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so on her turn, she is going to first. You guys are suddenly holding smoke. Oh, jeez. And she cries out, and this is only in your mind, Vasul. And she says, "You fool! You are a traitor!" And then she seems to just dissipate into smoke and drifts up towards the eaves of the trees. So she's about 60 feet up right now. Dr. Cardinal, what are you going to do? I love the idea.
Go over, pick up my crossbow.
I think this is just an affectation of yours, but I love the idea that every time something happens, Dr. Cardinal just goes, and then reacts.
Yeah. Well, that didn't work, so he's going to move over back to where he was with the crossbow, which is about there, pick it up. So that's move, interact.
Yeah.
I could actually shoot, couldn't I?
I don't think so. I think like a readied... it's kind of like 2E, where like if it's a readied thing, then you can do that. I know you can interact with an object for free. I don't know about picking up a weapon, though, and readying it. Because you'd have to load it again, too, right?
It's automatic.
Oh, it's automatic. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm sold. Take a shot. Okay, so that seems like it would hit. Thunk passes right through her and strikes the tree on the other side. Vasul, what are you doing?
But when we held her, she felt solid.
Right, but as I said, she seemed to transform into smoke. She vanished and then transformed into smoke. What are you doing, Vasul?
So, I would shout, work with us, or Garthus is coming here and burning you down.
Okay, you can hear. You know nothing. Yeah. You will all burn.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. Let us fetch him.
Okay, Kabobo.
I don't have anything that.
Kabobo, you're pretty low to the ground.
Tree.
Would you give us a perception check, please?
Every roll today.
Well, let's get the bad ones out of your system for the first half hour.
Yeah. I just don't have. I don't know if I have any spells to like. Well, maybe. I mean, I really don't know if I care. 60 feet range.
Well, how many spells do you at 5th level? Do you get what? 3 spells per day?
No. These are mostly cantrips that I'm casting.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I've only cast 2 real spells. One, which is all the spells I have. So yeah, so pretty much.
She is. Let's see here.
I'm just wondering, can I use Sacred Flame on the tree canopy that she's hiding under?
Click on Sacred Flame. Let's see. Flame, not frame.
It says on a creature, but I don't know.
Well, trees are living things.
There.
Yeah, trees are living things, so I'd let you do that.
Oh, but it's radiant, and it's not actually fire.
No. Well, I mean, you would know that radiant damage is often anathema to undead.
Right. I know. I was more trying to destroy but I'll just cast it on her.
Okay. So she needs to make a. Let me quickly. I looked it up. You know, I was going to grab.
Why is my DC down on that one?
I was going to grab
Is it based on the spell level?
No.
Yes.
The spell level changes the spell save DC?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's see. Here we go.
So I think it's 8 plus proficiency plus spell level or something like that.
So no magical damage.
Oh yeah, okay, that would make sense. Yeah. 8 plus proficiency plus stat plus spell level.
Okay, so it's a dex. So the way that Gaseous form works is she has advantage on her save against us, but she can take damage.
Okay.
Okay, and then
I might just have to run away. Well, not run away.
actually, and she
leave
would have
or-
taken, because of Dr. Cardinal's weapon is magic. She actually would have taken that damage as well. Okay, I was going to grab my spell cards when I was prepping last night, and I'm like, I'm sure I'll remember. Not at all. Okay, now let's see here. Valustra. There we go. Let's make your save, my girl. So dex save, and she has advantage on this.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom. Oh, wrong thing. I rolled an ability check. Hold on. There we go. Save. 27. Really running the gamut in that one roll there. Nat 1, nat 20. All right. So she is successful. So it takes no damage then. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Then it is Valustra's turn. She is going to try and, because of she's in the shadows now, she can try and hide. Which is curious that she would try and hide when she was invisible before. All right, so she appears to vanish. It is Dr. Cardinal's turn.
I'm going to move so I'm not adjacent to the shadow, and then I'm going to ready an action to shoot her if she reappears.
Okay. Vassal.
I think I'm moving south where Trovik is, not that she will attack him while he's sleeping.
Okay.
So I think I don't know how steep this is, so maybe I can do it.
It's probably I'm picturing these being gentle slopes going up. So it's treat them as difficult terrain, but it's stuff you can actually move up.
Okay.
Okay. And you don't need like hands to climb it. It's just that it's, you know, a little bit of a gnarled roots under the ground probably. And Kabobo.
I feel like we've almost run out of options of what to do to her. She's not being helpful. I think he turns to his allies.
You know
and
what,
says,
guys? Hold on. I actually one second here. I need to do one thing in. It won't change the fact that she is where she is now, but I do need to make one check here because she took damage from Dr. Cardinal's shot. She was concentrating on gaseous form. She would have needed to make a concentration check.
Right.
So she may
fair
have been
enough.
solid for that save, in which case she would have got the nat 1 on the save instead of the 20. So let's see here. Taking damage is a constitution save against DC 10 and half the damage she took, so it's 14. So con save against 14. No! So then she would have taken the damage from your radiant effect there. It doesn't change the fact that she's going to flee.
Right.
But go ahead and give us a roll damage. 1d. Oh, it's a 2d8.
It did roll. It did roll.
It did roll?
10 was the damage from the. Ingolf included the spell below, but the above when
got
it
it.
cast it did 10 radiant
It was 10 damage.
damage.
Okay, awesome. And then.
But I can't see her now.
Yeah. All right.
I think at this point, Kabobo just turns to his allies and just says, she is much less helpful than we had hoped for.
So, what follows, guys, is a tense couple of minutes while you're waiting for her to reappear. But there are two things that happen in the... Well, I guess two things that dawn on you. For one, you cannot find her again. She seems to... If she was coming down to fight, she's the fight has either gone out of her or she's affected a strategic retreat. The second thing you realize is that Trovik doesn't seem to be waking up. Whatever efforts you make to try and get him to wake up, he is completely dead to the world.
Yeah.
Can I check him out? Is this an arcane effect? You know, is it magically affecting him?
You can. Do you have detect magic? I think we've gone through this dance before.
Yeah. No, I can't just do it with an arcana check. Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
What you can do? Do you
do we
have?
want to-
What is it? Do you have healing?
actually, hang on.
Is that
What's
a-
my spells?
Or
Core.
it's not. It's not healing. Medicine. In this game.
Oh, I don't have it trained.
Okay.
So,
Sol or Kabobo, do you guys have medicine trained?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try carrying him out to the machine room upstairs and then resting there. Because I'm completely out of magical power.
I mean, he was exhausted. Like, we know he was, like, crazy. For him, like, he was barely moving.
Yeah.
He was, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
he had exerted himself very far, it seems, in the fight against Garsuth.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has done something to himself. Maybe we can't really leave him, is the thing.
Yeah,
Unless
I
we
think
can-
so as well. Yeah. I mean, I can cure some of his wounds, but I don't think he's that injured. He looks.
No, he's at full health right now.
Yeah.
Is there a way to... Could we hide him or mask him or... I could leave Rip to watch him.
Yeah.
And Rip can alert me if anything comes.
Vasul and Dr. Cardinal, would you guys each give us perception checks, please?
Oh.
We are not a perceptive bunch today.
Oh, Dr. Cardinal, though. So, Dr. Cardinal, as you were making your way, you picked up your crossbow. You're walking, over to check on Trovik, and your foot strikes something. You're like, "What's?" You reach down, and you pull up. There is an amulet that has the sigil of House Dimir on it, and there is a broken chain on it. It is exactly where you guys were wrestling with Valustra.
So yeah, we have the amulet now. That is fine. Could come in handy.
So, what do you guys do next?
I investigate the amulet to see what it does.
Do you have Identify prepared?
No. I'm completely out.
Definitely
apart
seems to
from
be an
one.
amulet.
Okay.
You're 100% sure. Now, it's made of like a... it almost looks like it's made of some kind of like dyed, or perhaps it's just a darkened bone that's been like worn down. It's kind of like, those like tacky glass statues that like, parents in the 70s and 80s would like to have on their coffee tables. My parents had these like leaping dolphin things. It's that glassy, like almost like dye-colored glass material, but has some strange texture to it. That's what this seems to be made of.
So is it in the shape of anything, or is it just a...
The sigil of House Dimir.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. So that is nice, but I'm really hesitant to leave Trovik alone here.
He won't be alone, Kabobo says.
So you want to leave Rip here?
Yes, Rip can watch him and alert us. I mean, we will be as far away from him
Rip
as
appears next to Kabobo.
as we go, but he will not be alone.
Okay. So I'm just thinking. So this kind of environment here looks more like what the Celestia Conclave would build or would have, and it seems like we have kind of natural sunlight here, whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
So
one thing, that's a good question. Why don't you all give us nature checks, guys?
Maybe we can roll now.
Oh,
nice festival. So the one thing that you say that out loud, but one thing that's 20 for Kabobo. Wow. So Kabobo kind of picks up, 2 leaves from the ground. He says, "Well, how do you explain this then?" And he holds it, and the leaves look almost identical, like the exact same.
Oh, right.
Thing, and not like a Canada leaf kind of way where it's a really distinctive, specific thing. It's just there's a little bit of an imperfection in it. It otherwise looks like nice, big, broad leaves. They look almost identical. And you're bothered again, Vestal, by the fact that all of these seem to be the exact same tree, right? But with slight variations in it. Almost like if you had identical twins, or near identical twins, where they have some very small differences between the individuals. There's that here. And what you would know, both of you, with your roles that good, is that the Celestia Conclave, one of the things that they embrace is, for one, the melding of the urban and the wild, and for two, they are cognizant of the importance of biodiversity. Unless they found themselves, the Celestia, someone as a representative of the Celestia Conclave found themselves in dire straits and only had limited access, they wouldn't just, build a forest filled of all the same tree.
speaking of trees, what kind of trees are those?
Yew
Do
trees.
they carry fruit or something?
They do not. Let's see if I can get. I was going to load a picture of one, but forgot to do that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Android Chrome has added this new thing where it constantly tells you it's a preview of the page, so I constantly have to double click to get into things. Grr.
Okay. So just between us, so Zul is speculating a little bit. So
There you go. That's what a yew tree looks like.
okay, yeah. So maybe it is like some kind of artificial thing, like when you want to repopulate a certain area. So we don't know what this machine does, but if it can transfer the tower, maybe it can also replicate these trees or something like that. So
Do you think they're clones?
I don't know what a clone is, but maybe I would think that if I
Dr. Cardinal, give us an Arcana check. So, your master, Nivmazet, the master of the Izzet Guild, it definitely has an interest in all sorts of, exotic kinds of technology. However, dabbling in biological experimentation and biological changes and such, unless it is the magical equivalent of cybernetics, that is the purview of the Simic Combine, not the Izzet League. You don't duplicating trees and things like that. Where the hell's the interest in that? Mages can already do that. What can we build? So it would be really unusual if the apparatus was somehow related to what's happening down here. But this definitely does not look like something that can happen naturally. There's obviously some kind of magic at play here.
Why would the vampire hide here where it takes harm? It does not make any sense.
Maybe it was trapped here.
Yeah, but I mean, we could walk back, so why couldn't she? So as far as we know, our Boros friends got attacked above.
The Boros were attacked above, and it seemed. You may remember you saw like those like drag marks across the ground that seemed to disappear into the ground.
Yeah.
So it seems as if it was those things.
Those hands again. Okay. So then we know where they are. Yeah. Okay.
So one thing you mentioned is why would she be down here? Did she attack you down here, or was there something else that happened before that happened?
We talked to her, and we
you turned the lantern on, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only reason you knew. She was not. She seemed to have been like lurking in there. Her reaction was only after she realized that you were looking directly at her with the help of the lantern.
So, okay, but yeah, the only thing that is keeping us down here is right now that Trovik won't be able to come with us, it seems. So.
Well, yes, but we could. That's what I'm saying. We could leave him here.
Rip cries out. Ah! If you look over, he's flapped up. And what do you think Rip's voice is like, Kabobo?
I think it's like much deeper than it should be for a creature of his size. A lower timbre,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
What the hell's that? Kabobo, what's going on over here?
And you look over, and what you see is that there are roots from that tree that are like laying over the lower part of Trovik's body.
Oh.
Almost like nestling him. It's not pulling him under or anything like that. It just seems to be nestling him in.
Oh, but maybe that's good. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the question. Is it helping him or hurting him?
How's that good?
That's Rip. Rip is not a
Maybe it's
reliable
just-
source of information, though.
No, Rip's scared of a lot of shit.
Damn Rip. He vanishes from view again.
Yeah.
Or maybe the tree is protecting him.
This could be a place of protection in general, this forest.
So, but then again, so we on the way here and even in the tower, we met the remnants of the Simic experiments everywhere. Although the tower seems not to have any markings of the Simic Combine.
Right.
Which is kind of strange. I was thinking that this could be just some weird way to combine all the different aspects of mana into one place because we have all the skills and we fit together, but I don't know how the Simic Combine would fit in there. Maybe
Are there
they-
10 floors to this tower that we found?
There is also the spores that you found above, too. Remember, the Simic, the things that attacked you on the way down, they definitely seem to be consistent with what you've known of the Simic. Their aquatic life and insect life seems to be their shtick, right? Or more so the aquatic. Spores, though, that is more the Golgori Swarm. That associates with spores and fungus and, to be honest, the undead. What was your question, Jeff? Sorry, I interrupted you.
He was just kind of asking the others, have we found 10 levels to this place?
Good question. Let's see here.
just trying to like get us all to sort of recount and think about it, because if we think that
12.
that's the case,
12 different
we
levels.
found 12 floors. Aren't there 10 guilds?
10 guilds.
Yeah, I don't think that this is related to. So there should not be each level for each guild or something. One level for each guild. I would not.
So Kabobo,
Well,
you can feel the light kind of, that nice, lovely daylight on your face, which I think is probably not something you're accustomed to, for one, being a street goblin, in your youth, and then also being part of the Orzhov Syndicate. A lot of your time is either spent indoors, or in dark kind of alleys kind of stuff.
Right.
If you were a vampire, would you want this down here?
No, I mean, this is definitely not her room. Or her... like, this is not the Demir floor for sure, but...
Maybe we should explore the area a little bit more. I don't know.
We could.
What do you guys think? Mo, you got any thoughts here?
Well, we've either got to explore here, or we've got to carry Trovic back out, maybe to the machine room and rest there.
I don't think that we can rest there. You remember that these things were snatching our comrades, or these useless Boros legionnaires that never helped us anyway. So I don't think that we will find any safety there. So I think we just have to look around if we find something here that could help us. Or we would try to talk to her again if she isn't in the light. Maybe she's more willing to talk to us. I don't know.
She told us to leave the tower, though.
Yeah, because she told us we were traitors, but I don't know. There was some kind of treason.
When Vasul says that, Dr. Cardinal and Kabobo, you both kind of look at each other and you're like, wait, did she call you a traitor? And this is maybe when you realize, Vasul, only you heard that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think she considers... I think she considers the Azorius and also the Gruul as traitors, but I'm not really sure. So I think our guilds were in this enterprise together in some way or another, and something ran wrong. But I don't know. So the ghost, the senator, he was not. He did not seem like he did something wrong. So I don't know.
Do you guys remember what his body was, what he was dissecting? Something you learned last time.
He was looking for his book where he...
Not his spirit, the corpse you found, or the remains you found in the laboratory.
I have to say, I don't remember right now.
It was some kind of aquatic creature.
Okay.
So there is some kind of fish hybrid thing that he was working on when he died, or at least when the fungus came.
Quite a long time ago. But the tower has been underwater for a long time. Because we know it.
Yeah, but was that before or after this? I'm not sure. So so somehow I don't know whether this tower was built for all the guilds or something, but somehow the Simic Combine and maybe the Gorgori Swarm were allowed to get inside. And maybe they were joining forces or something like that, and then I don't know. So if a Dimir who calls someone else a traitor is to be believed, well, that's a rather ridiculous thought in itself. But nevertheless, so if her story holds any truth, then maybe it is like that. If the Azorius Senate saw some way to experiment or to help these experiments, use these experiments, there might be a way that they were responsible. I don't know.
So let's put together what you guys have. This is because we play every 2 weeks and we had a month, break for the thing. Do you remember the design of the tower?
Yeah.
So which of the guilds does the design of the tower appear to favor? Setting aside the markings on it, we talked about what it looks like from the outside, what the interior looks like. Who was that?
Wasn't it Boros?
Boros, yeah.
Right, yeah. So Boros, if you didn't see the markings on the outside, you would think the Boros Legion built this thing. Inside, there's the apparatus that's above you guys right now. And Dr. Cardinal confirmed who he would have thought would have built that, as well as that control mechanism on the top floor where all of your stunned people are. On the top floor, there was what would have been a airy for the hippogriffs or whatever it is that the Boros Legionnaires run. But remember, there was something weird about that as well.
Trying to remember what was weird about that.
There was
they were water. It was designed for water creatures, not air creatures.
Well, it was modified because there was signs as if it was submerged, like you'd find on the underside of a dock or a harbor. You also found in the laboratory, you guys were attacked. You remember by that mold or growth or whatever. What guild is associated with that?
Gorgori's form.
And yet it seemed to originate from, because remember, Dr. Cardinal was able to sort of, his specialty is figuring out where the explosion came from so he doesn't have it happen again. And that seemed to come from that Azorius robed person who was working on what looked like an aquatic life form. A strange hybrid that you would expect to come from the Simic Combine. And then there's this bizarre day-lit basement with an enormous tree and seemingly replicas all around it. Though both Vasul and Kabobo, you get a sense like this is not what the Selesnya Conclave would build, given the chance.
Right.
You also, have you seen any markings inside here from any guilds apart from the 3 that you saw on the outside?
No.
You found a lantern with the marking of the Azorius Senate on it. You now have an amulet with the markings of House Dimir.
So what is the question? Did the guilds not build these things? Were they all
built? Well, maybe the Senate and the Dimir were trying to do something separate to the original main guilds.
So let me throw one more thing out there, and then just a general observation. Kabobo, you are also aware that there is one other person who seems to have been, some of the Geists seem to be aware of, and that is...
right.
And truth told, you don't know much about his background. You know that he's trusted, and then he's a mucky muck, and he's harassing you, and seemingly he's been assigned to watch over what you do because they think you're a troublemaker. But bit of a coincidence, don't you think, that he's suddenly
here, and seems to know more about it.
And the last thing I'll observe is just that old adage of cui bono, who profits? Who would profit from these three guilds, the Gruul, House Dimir, and the Azorius Senate, taking control of a Boros outpost? And why would the Boros agree to it?
Well, and that's what Kabobo's really been trying to figure out is, like, what's the value of this place, right? Like, he came here trying to find value for Orzhov here, and so far he's not really sure what the value of this place is, right? So that's definitely what he's been thinking about.
I mean, if we just, so parts of Ravnica are certainly underwater.
Yes.
So, I mean, it would make sense to have some kind of, if this tower is able to be, I don't know, teleported, you could have it like be some kind of exploration device. You would just put it there as a basis and then try to use this technology where you put these trees everywhere and so on. So you make some kind of land. You just build some kind of underwater colony or whatever. So but this sounds too amazing for Vizul to even imagine, really. But yeah, that would I mean, the who would benefit? Certainly, our guilds would benefit, I think. But
so
I don't think that the Boros, for instance, would really benefit from that.
You know as well that this was located, at least from what you've heard, deep underground or underwater in one of the subsurface oceans, right? And then it suddenly reappeared up here. And Dr. Cardinal has confirmed that the apparatus would, if functioning, likely allow this thing to move. Boros, obviously, there's an advantage there. If you've got a transporting fortress, pretty handy way to move your, the front of your war against whatever forward by just suddenly having, an army appear there. What could have caused all three of these guilds to agree to have this at the bottom of the ocean?
I mean, so Ravnica has
I guess
been
one other follow-up
by...
too. Sorry, Ingolf, I'll share and say here. The follow-up too. Why is it back now?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Ingolf. I interrupted you.
So I just wanted to say that Ravnica has been attacked by some of these weird plane walkers.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just to be able to have some kind of safeguard. I don't know if there is something like a water plane or whatever.
Now that's an interesting point that Kabobo could probably expand on. When the Guild Pact was broken, it meant that there didn't need to have that trust between the different guilds still. And then it was recreated, right? Like the nobles could rise, non-guild members could start taking control in Ravnica, and the guilds did not have to restrain themselves in any way. It could just be, the powerful take all. But that may not, if there is a contract or was a contract in place, unless that was contingent on the Guild Pact, which is very possible. The Orzhov love making complicated. If you think your credit card contract is long, whoo boy, just wait till you read an Orzhov one. If it's contingent on that, then whatever contract was between these three, it may not have been magically binding any longer. So you would know this,
Okay.
Kabobo, as the reason that people value the Orzhov guild is that the kinds of agreements you can force them to bind into can bind very souls into it. Right. So it is not just a matter of like, I'm just not going to abide by the terms of my contract. It's if you really want to make sure that you can trust the people you're dealing with, and in Ravnica, there's lots of reasons why you would just have a lot of distrust between different guilds. That's the way you get around that, is with an Orzhov contract.
So this place may have returned when the Guild Pact was destroyed?
I have a very strange thought. So was this really in Ravnica? Or was the tower maybe even outside of Ravnica? So if I understand correctly, some planes came here, or planewalkers came here to invade our plane.
Yeah.
Maybe our forefathers decided, well, we could also expand to another plane.
Well, I'm playing from the way that they have. And let me forget this. From what I understand, because I have not read any of the novels, I don't know. So I don't know how common. It does not seem as if like bopping back and forth between planes. For planewalkers, it is absolutely the case that they can, as long as there's no other constriction, they're relatively free to do that. But it is very, very, very rare for other non-planewalker creatures from going from like bopping in for a visit to Innistrad and then heading on over to Dominaria.
Yeah, I don't think I actually don't know that it's. I don't know if I've ever heard of any lore of it happening except for planeswalkers.
Okay,
but you're not wrong that like this. There would be the fact that there was a war between planeswalkers, like between Nicholas Bolas and the other planeswalkers in Ravnica that had an impact on the 10,000 year pact that they had. That would bring that to everyone's public consciousness, right? And everyone would be thinking about that shit for the next 100 years. So you're not wrong there, Ingolf, that people may be thinking, shit, hold on, how hard is this stuff? Because that seems to be really disruptive here.
Yeah.
But the things you found in here thus far, the spores, the weird creatures, all that stuff, it could be found natively.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so imagine the contract got released because it was built based on the Guild Pact, and the Guild Pact was not in place anymore. So that, and then things got broken. The tower got teleported back, and now it is here. So mystery solved, let's go.
Who has, none of you guys have training in medicine or, no?
No.
Let me ask you this.
I think Trovic has, but it doesn't help now.
The body that you found from upstairs, do you think that would have survived 10,000 years of sitting there?
No, probably not.
So then, how old do you think it is? How long do you think that it's been since that event happened?
We couldn't figure it out for sure, but I mean,
when we were 100 years after the Guild Pact broke down or something like that. So
that's where you guys are now, yeah.
Yeah, so it might be exactly at 100 years ago. So
could be 100 years ago.
Huh?
I just said it. Yeah, that could be like 100 years ago. So
the body was quite desiccated. Whether that was because it was consumed by the spores or whether it was just the passage of time.
Okay. So, but I don't know. So the body we found, I don't know whether this does help us in any way. I don't know whether my character is maybe even more lost now.
So you're all sort of sitting underneath the eaves of this tree. You can see that Trovic is nicely sort of nestled in, and there's a little growth of ferns that have come up and sprung on top of the roots that have grabbed him. And he's still drool coming down.
Does it appear to be growing into him?
No, if you look down, over him. Cradling him almost.
Yeah. Like, I don't know that it's hurting him. Rip was a little nervous, but that doesn't really mean anything to me.
So,
Hey, what do you mean?
You're nervous about everything.
What good cause?
Usually. But you also don't know a
I'm
lot about the
imagining
Celestia.
Rip has got one of those New York paperboy sort of like big caps.
John, in our new Warcraft 5th edition game, John's been slowly making his character more and more Brooklyn as we've been playing. So he's this little gnome with a Brooklyn accent, so it's fresh in my mind. I think what he says, Rip at least is, I don't trust this tree, Kabobo.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. I think I should just.
We could move him away from the tree very easily.
Yeah, I think we should just get him free. Just because. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, move him over to where the slope is. I think maybe.
So he is currently completely covered in a blanket of ferns and wrapped up in vines. How do you plan on getting him free?
Oh, well, I guess we could just cut them loose.
Okay. So if you do you have a dagger or something, or an axe?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming that.
I have a dagger.
Okay, so as soon as you move up with a drawn dagger, it all retracts from him.
Oh.
Okay.
So maybe it is just protective.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just reacting to our emotions.
So when we were thinking of protecting our friend, it engulfed him, and now that we were trying to remove it, it was reacting the other way.
Yeah. Maybe sentient wood. So.
You had mentioned, I believe, last time, Vassal, about dryads, to see if there were anything like that. Dryads are a kind of forest spirit. You didn't see anything like that, but I mean, they're certainly not the only kind of spirit to be found in the woods.
Yeah, maybe I could just put on the lantern again and just
Sure.
go around and see if I see anything.
Yeah, so you look around. Doesn't seem to be anything, nothing hidden from you. Just a relaxing, sun-filled glade.
I mean, this is kind of a paradise in itself. It is rather artificial and weird, but
Oh, many would consider this a paradise for sure. Even though it's artificial.
Well, maybe this was some sort of rest and recreation area for the tower originally.
A place to recover. Each room definitely seems to serve a purpose in this tower. Each level.
So he is not here. And you guys have limited exposure to the Gruul clans. But having passed through that red rubble area to get to the entrance, to get underneath and make your way to Zunak's tower, does it strike you as a place where the Gruul clans would want to unwind?
Well, I was thinking more of the original three.
Well, the original three included a member of the Gruul clans.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no, maybe not. But I don't know.
So one thing that would be, I think, apparent to you all right now is that if you're not able to make conclusions based on what you've got, you may need to learn more.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
So, Dr. Cardinal has mentioned it a couple of times about needing a rest, and although Trovik was the one who looked to be more like physically exhausted, Dr. Iago does look, he's not a spring chicken, and he's looking a little weary as well. Kabobo, I think you've exhausted your spells as well.
Yeah.
You only need, so one thing you guys could do is you would be able to take a 5-minute short rest. just a reminder, we're not doing an hour short rest. We're doing 5-minute short rest in here, so I don't think... Oh, Dr. Iago, you've taken some damage, but I'm not sure if you want to spend another hit dice for that, or...
No,
or not.
I'm happy. I'm just slightly tinged.
Okay.
I really need a long rest.
Okay. So what are you guys thinking?
Yeah.
Well, do we actually suggest that we rest here, and then when we're properly recuperated, search the place properly? Because I think we need more information, as people have said.
So maybe we could try to talk to Velustra again, just get her to maybe even if she's, I don't know, vicious and attacks us again, but maybe just to get her to say what kind of treason it was, so maybe we get an insight there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like understand why she thinks whatever we've done is treason.
Yeah, I don't think it's about us. I think it's about what happened before.
Well, that's interesting. What does she mean by treason? Treason against the Guild Pact? Which is one option, because I mean, normally
You mean
guilds are
she
just
means that the
infighting.
Guild Pact was broken and she's upset about that? I don't think so.
Possibly, but then again, the guilds tend to intrigue against each other and within pretty much continuously. So treason is a specific term, and what are we?
Okay, hold on, Mo. You're spiraling off into a little bit of... One of the things about that you're going to want to do is work with the evidence or the clues that you have thus far instead of speculating.
Well, obviously we know something went wrong with the tower.
Not necessarily. What if this was a thing that was built in case the Guild Pact failed?
Yeah, but actually there was a thing that was built in case the Guild Pact failed. That was the how was this labyrinth called? I don't know. So there was already a replacement Guild Pact in case the Guild Pact was broken. But this could be the second replacement, yeah?
Well,
then,
I mean, other clans might have had their own contingency plans. Like, you know, just because they agreed on the Guild Pact, they might not have all agreed on what to do if it failed.
Orzhov contracts can be as binding. They're not as wide-reaching necessarily as what the Guild Pacts were, but it's absolutely can be as binding on the parties as what the Guild Pact was. It is a magically infused thing. Boy, you know, it would be really helpful if you had a copy of that contract, eh?
Yeah, maybe we could. I mean, that's a good idea, right? Like, maybe we can find whatever contract is binding this place.
yeah, in the library or something, but
The library which was on fire when we left it.
Yeah, where would they
But
keep it though?
I'm pretty sure that you can't just burn an Orzhov contracts.
Kabobo,
Well, I would probably be able to tell you that a Orza or the contract would not just burn up with regular fire. That would be too easy to destroy.
And the contract itself is usually kept with the Orzhov. They're the ones who keep the it's magically binding anyway, so who has the stuff, you know, whoever, it's not the kind of thing you forget, right? Like, oh shit, I rented the movie but I forgot to return it, you know, kind of stuff. It's something that is binding on your very like metaphysical soul, you know.
Right.
But Rip says,
Hey, wait a minute. What about... If you don't have the contract, what about the one who witnessed it?
and Kabobo, you
Yes.
can, at that, you can see a fairly sheepish-looking Razir seems to be standing near you. The rest of you guys cannot see him yet, but your experience with him thus far, I think, how would you sum up your interactions with Razir so far? Would you find him a supportive?
No, I would say he is like I don't know, like an annoying coach or something that you're stuck on the team with him. You know, like not that you couldn't choose him. You know, he's the.
So
I don't like him.
If you were to describe how he looks right now, as opposed to appearing and just being annoying to you and like pointing out your flaws and the mistakes that you made and whatnot.
Yeah.
He is oddly quiet and seems to be avoiding your eye contact.
I think that at this point, Kabobo just looks at him and he says, "It's time to come clean with what you know, Razir."
He takes a deep breath, though, I mean, like, he breathed his long last breath, you know, tens of thousands of years ago. And then Vasul and Iago, you can see there is this ghostly apparition who looks an awful lot like Richard E. Grant that appears among you and says loud, so you can hear very well. But only after our break. So we'll take our mid-session break right now, guys, and we'll come back and see what you can learn from Razir. So back, for those listening at home, back momentarily.
So, very mysterious mystery.
All right. Okay. Oh, we're waiting for Mo. Okay. Did either of you guys back that that new 5e thing from the guy who made Odyssey of the Dragon Lords?
Oh.
Raiders of the Serpent Sea is called.
No.
No, I haven't yet either. It's like a Viking, it's similar to the Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, where it's just like it's a campaign setting and then like a very specific theme, you know, flavored monsters and whatnot. It's the guy who was the lead designer at BioWare behind Dragon Age and something. I can't remember if it was Mass Effect or not. Yeah, he was lead designer at BioWare. I don't know what other games other than Dragon Age he worked on, but it's Viking stuff this time, and like that is really, really up my alley. But I still haven't. Hold it. Go ahead, Ingolf.
No, I just so there is this Dragon Heresy game.
Mm-hmm. It's
which I really like. So this
Douglas
was,
Cole. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
He's got made Dungeon Grappling.
Yeah. And I ran this a couple of times. So.
If there was more for that game, I would be more inclined to run it more often. It's just that because there's only the core book, and then his focus seems to have gone to Dungeon Fantasy instead.
Yeah, I think he released one or two of the adventures he did for Dungeon Fantasy for Dragon Heresy as well.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so it's not Dungeon Fantasy. So he is basically the only person who does supplements for the Fantasy Trip.
Yeah.
And yeah, to be quite honest, I'm not so interested in the Fantasy Trip.
No, I ran GURPS a ton in the early aughts, and it's tough to figure out what I would like, what type of game I'd want to run where GURPS would be the rule set I would use as opposed to, you know, some other game right now. It's even for, it used to be like for modern day stuff, I would have it as my go-to, but there's a lot of great modern day games that have a different approach. You know, like GURPS Horror. I used to run Delta Green with GURPS, but now that Delta Green is out and Delta Green's a great game, kind of not going to use it for that. But
there's also this 5e book from Laura and Tracy Hickman.
Yeah, I saw it. The Raiders of the something or other.
It's about sky pirates, like flying ships and so on. And I backed that, and I'm rather curious what they would do.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, the production value on that stuff looks amazing, and the value for what you get in the Kickstarter looks pretty good. The only reason I didn't back that Raiders thing, because again, like Viking shit is right up my alley. The only reason I didn't back it is just because like I've got so much 5e stuff as it is right now. I have yet to make substantial use of any of my Midgard stuff, and I'm backing Book of Ebon Tales for it as well, just because I like bear folk in a Twilight world is also really right up my alley. So the idea of having
totally.
Yeah.
There is this level up 5e stuff that you might actually enjoy, I suppose.
I looked at it, and it the fact that it I picked up those feat books a little while ago from Dungeon Masters Guild that add in, like, basically reintroduce feats back into 5e and then whatnot. And to be honest, this is not by the same author, so it's not that. It's just the reason I decided not to go on with the 5e level up stuff is, like, if I want to run a more complex version of the game, I'll use PF2 or I'll use 3.5. Like I am not concerned about switching to different editions to get a different feel at the table. For me, like the strength of 5e is the simplicity, is the fact that it doesn't have all that extra baggage to it. And from what I read on the level up stuff, it just seemed like that was the case. And a lot of the authors are former Pathfinder 1 people who produce a shit ton of PF1 for it. So I'm sure it's going to be great content for what it is, but for what it does to 5th edition, I just don't feel like that's how I would want to tweak 5th edition necessarily.
So what I liked about it was that it just... So if you play a lot of 5th edition, then every class has a certain feeling and there is not so much variation. You have one real choice at 3rd level where you choose your path or whatever this is called. Mm-hmm. And then every class is more or less fixed. And what it does, it gives a little bit more of flexibility there. And it's like this Pathfinder 1 splatbooks where you had all this kind of different paths or classes or whatever, but it does not increase the complexity of the game. It just, you have a little bit more options. I think you can use it without making things too complicated.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like it's all the stuff will be subjective to like what your level of complexity. And for myself, I want something that's going to give me more options, but still play relatively quick at the table. I'll use PF2. I like.
Yeah, me too. But the problem is sometimes you have players that just aren't interested in playing Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, I've been dangling that carrot in Starfinder for about 6 months now, and no one's biting yet. So,
what are you
gonna do?
I'm here, and more also, I suppose.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Okay, so guys, we're all back now. So, last we left, Razir had manifested. And he sort of moves over and sits himself down in his spectral form, or as if he's sitting down on the one of the big trunks coming out of the bottom of the tree, or not trunks, the roots out from the bottom of the tree, and looks up at you and says, "Well then, what do you wish to know? I can tell you there are certain things I cannot tell you." And he looks at you. Well, and like Vessel maybe laughs at that, but Kabobo, you would know that to mean like the aspects of the contract may prevent him. The confidentiality clauses in Orzhov contracts, they don't require you to like, oh, if you say this, you're sued. It makes you physically unable to do that stuff. So he may not be able to tell you that stuff. Kobobo, you would know that about those contracts.
Of course. One thing I would know. So who were the original signers of the contract?
The signatories were
yes.
representatives of the 3 guilds: Senator Balistan for the Azoria Senate, Valustra of House Dimir, and Garsuth of the Gruul clans.
Did the contract bind them to this place?
It bound a duty for them to this place.
Oh, and by the way, if anyone else has questions, feel free to ask them. Mm-hmm. Like, just player-wise.
He did manifest before everybody. So...
you guys can see him for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh... I think I would have introduced him then. I didn't realize he was showing himself to everyone. Yes.
Sure. Yeah. And give me 2 seconds here. I was reading last night the different titles. So he actually would probably have a title within the Orzhov Syndicate.
Yeah, and I would definitely introduce him at this point.
Oh, excuse me. My goodness. I don't know if I told you guys this story before, but I know what a belch appears as on a transcript for a trial. Because I got back from lunch from having drank too much San Pellegrino at lunch. It appears as unreportable sound on the transcript. Anyway, what he would be.
I mean, to me, I would call him my overseer or something like that.
Pontiff Razir.
This is my overseer, Pontiff Razir.
He nods to both of you.
So good day.
Can you tell us what year this contract was signed?
It was shortly before the formation of the Guild Pact. And you kind of
see.
I look good for my age, no? 10,000 years?
Does give me a little new respect for you.
That mean you have some respect then?
Yes.
And you hear
You've
rip.
listed above 0.
Dr. Cardinal's going to ask, well, what was the effect of the breaking of the Guild Pact and its reformation? Is the contract still in force?
He looks over at you, Kabobo. Smart in one area does not equate to smart in every area, does it?
No, unfortunately.
Shakes his head. It
Some
was
areas are
founded
more
before
important
the
than
Guild
others.
Pact, Doctor. One cannot build a house if the ground does not exist yet.
So
And he
it predates the Guild Pact.
crosses his hands. Indeed. One might say an incentive.
An incentive for the Guild Pact.
He leans in. You think it was easy? To get the Boros and the Gruul to agree? To get the Azorius and the Rakdos to agree? You lot know nothing, and he's talking to you, Kabobo, in particular, of difficult negotiations.
Now that is true. I can't even imagine what was required.
Truly took a masterful negotiator. A genius.
Yeah.
So this tower was a gift.
Tower was part of the agreement.
So, and the agreement was to send the tower away.
The agreement was for the tower to be used, not for its original purpose. It's amazing how well a fortress can also serve as a vault.
Okay. So, and what did the tower contain? So, what was the thing that was hidden below the sea?
Something of value to one of the signatories. And he spares a look at you, Kabobo. You don't need to make a roll for it, but that's likely his way of intimating that he probably can't say what specifically is in here. That may be part.
Right, that's exactly. And Kabobo would catch on to that. That's
Kabobo,
right.
yeah, like you would know, you've been involved in this kind of shit before. If there are, confidentiality agreement components to an Orzhov contract, you kind of have to look for where the holes are in what they talk about.
Right.
Okay. So,
And that's, yeah.
where was this hidden? Could you tell this? So, where in the tower?
He leans back on the tree and kind of like drums his spectral fingers across the trunk. I really could not say.
Okay.
Oh. Interesting. This room, this tree itself.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when one is negotiating such a contract, the trick is, of course, to know what everyone values. The Azorius, for instance, it's so easy to get them to agree to anything that keeps the peace. They just want it to be quiet. The Dimir, well, they just want to know what the secret is. And the Gruul, the Gruul are another matter. He looks down at the still sleeping kind of...
Yeah, the Gruul are the trickiest to appease, aren't they?
One way is to their vanity. For instance, if you could repurpose a valued piece of property of a dire enemy, that may appeal to them.
Ah, I
Those are
see.
dire enemy.
Yes, so the Boros Tower was repurposed. So the Gruul were happy that the Boros lost their tower. Okay.
The outside of this tower, I have trouble with colors. Is it white now? Or is it still stained with the red of the clans?
No.
Many a tusk and horn and claw was broken on these walls, I can assure you. Those times were most unseemly. I think a ghostly, like, goblet of wine appeared in his hand. He's like having a chat with you guys over a drink.
Yeah. Well, this is probably like he loves this. He loves that he has knowledge that we don't.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Especially he likes seeing me not knowing. It's pleasurable for him. Sick man that he is.
You know, Kabobo, give us an insight check. That's a good point. Let's see if he lets anything slip.
Oh!
Nat 20.
Finally.
Okay, so let me think here. The fact that I think he put more emphasis on vault than what he intended. He may have given away more there than what he had hoped to. There was a slight hesitation after he said it, where you think, shit, like he sure got away from that analogy pretty quickly.
Right.
This 10,000-year-old specter may not be as clever as he thinks he is. Or you may just not be as stupid as he thinks you are.
Right. So it's a vault of some sort. I mean, getting the tower. So one of the signatories, something is hidden here. Possibly in the tree, or it is the tree, or in this room. I mean, this is the room that the Dimir Geist vampire thing is, even though it doesn't necessarily want to be.
Yeah, I also think that the Dimir have hidden something here. I think the Azorius Senate, the peace and doing some research on this weird sea creatures. That would be enough to have them on board. But how's Demir? I mean, come on.
They wanted their secret locked away in this tower.
Yeah. So now we have to find the secret.
Easy,
Right? This tree.
Well, so one thing he did say was that the House Dimir likes knowing others' secrets.
Yeah, right. Oh, right. Knowing their dirty secret is what they want.
And the Gruul
Right,
clan, he did not answer what the Gruul clan got out of the contract, or in the general negotiations of contracts.
Yeah.
So with the Nat 20, if the Azorius just wants people to calm down, they certainly got that with this agreement. The Dimir just want to know others' secrets. Having an agent here, surely that achieves that, right?
Right.
So what the hell?
Right, being included in this building and its purpose.
Other than, also like rubbing the Boros Legion's face in it, what else did the Gruul get out of this?
Maybe that they got Gerthus out of the way. I think he seemed pretty unstable and pretty dangerous.
But he's
pretty,
one of them.
Yeah, it's pretty on
unstable.
par for the Gruul clans, to be honest. Trovik is the most well-behaved Gruul clan member. You recall there's one faction, one clan led by an Etten that routinely just like shows up and murders people. So like.
Yeah, or maybe it's just, I mean, couldn't they expand the area? I don't know.
Razir says, it's a shame that you don't know what it was like back in those days. Ravnica covers this entire planet now. It was not always the case.
Yeah.
Right.
The fiercest fights between the Boros. This, and he gestures at the tower. This was not unique. In its day, when the Izzet and the Boros saw eye to eye, they would deploy many of these deep into Gruul territory, striking at the wild and vicious clans that were there, cutting down and burning their world trees.
So this is maybe the hidden world tree or something like that. So they made a lot of copies of it.
He looks up. This? Oh no.
Oh, like a sapling,
This.
So Mo wants to say something.
Mo?
He mentioned the world trees. Can I do a history check to see if I know what those are? Have some background?
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for you. Go ahead.
Okay.
No. I mean anything to you. But Razir looks up and says, these? This is nothing. In these days, your thinking is so constrained by what is that you can't see what was.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you would, in your limited way, Senator, a tree whose very acorns, by their presence, would cast out echoes of it, willing them into existence without any effort, transforming the area around it to fit its purpose. And that would be just a seed of such things.
Okay.
Imagine what that would be like. And he leans back on the root and kind of looks up at the sky. And he says, Kabobo, I really wish I could feel this.
I'll reach out and touch the tree, feel it for myself.
So you feel the tree, and I think what he was referring to was the sunlight, because he sort of stretches his head back and...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, closing his eyes and trying to look up. And he leans in. They've all burned, All of them.
All of the world trees.
You can't build a city around such things. The Conclave would try and fancy themselves able to make them live in concert, but do you know what really drives the Gruul? Their anger knowing that it can never be as it was. An anger that has burned for 10,000 years. But you know what would serve as fuel for such an anger? Hope. If there was hope that such a thing could come again. He leans back once again on the tree. So, I'm no Gruul, so how would I know? I am just a genius negotiator. What other questions do you guys have for Razir?
So, so we imagined that maybe we have this kind like an ecological ward or whatever you call that. So you could really plant another world tree seed, whatever that means.
A world
Right,
tree seed. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, no, keep going.
Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, he's just agreeing with them. Maybe this is
Oh.
like a world tree seed, basically. Like, this is what it would look like.
Dr. Cardinal, give us an Arcana check, please. Okay, all you need was a 10. So the way that I think I mentioned before that you don't like the Izzet League, they don't dabble in biological, things and whatnot. But what they certainly are aware of is power sources. And if something was so powerful as to shape the very surroundings in its dormant stage, imagine what power could come from something either grown or shaped with appropriate growth. This is, Vasul, you mentioned about planeswalking. One of the reasons why it's just difficult to do it, the spark that drives the power of the planeswalkers is a phenomenal source of power to be able to shape reality. A tree that has a connection with the primordial essence of Ravnica. That would be a unthinkable source of magical power.
So maybe you weren't far off when you were thinking that this was for actually traveling between the planes.
Dr. Cardinal would say that, power without any harnessing of it or directing of it is just destruction.
So this room is almost like the engine of this.
That was what Dr. Cardinal saw upstairs.
Or the power source, sorry, like the...
There's nothing down here that connects to it.
Oh, so...
What was it that Razier described this? Not as a fortress, but as...
A vault. So this is hidden. Yeah, but... So, So, imagine that the contract got broken and someone would call treason, Razia. How would this, how could this happen?
Well, if an agreement predated the Guild Pact, the interactions with the signatories would be unchanged. They're bound by those same pacts, but those who are not part of the pact, those freed from the restrictions of the Guild Pact, well, there's nothing we could do to stop them from doing whatever they wanted.
So, someone came here after the Guild Pact was abolished or was out of order and destroyed, basically, or broke the original contract.
Without the binding effect of the expertly negotiated Guild Pact, they would be able to do whatever they wanted to each other.
Yeah, okay.
The 3 signatories to a contract unaffected by the Guild Pact, well, they would still be bound to it, but others... And what you guys can see, he looks down, and one of the tree limbs kind of just moves, or not the roots again, moves just slightly to the side. And you can see that there is something under there. A staff.
Okay, I'm going to look at the tree and say, may I? And then gently try and remove the staff.
Razier kind of shrugs. What you can see is there is a staff, and you pick up, and what it seems to have on it, you're not quite sure what it's made of. You can make a nature check if you'd like, Dr. Cardinal. I know it's not necessarily your strong suit, but that's why they put 20s on dice, so... No idea what it's made from. It's material completely unfamiliar with you, but what it looks like is it has kind of a greenish maroon kind of coloring to it. It feels like lacquered wood, to be honest, but it's definitely not that. But what the staff is, it stands about maybe about 5.5 feet tall, but the designs of it are all strange and unfamiliar aquatic creatures. You don't recognize any of them, but it's as if in a style that you're not familiar with, had depicted a passage of these things up the length of the staff. There are fish, there are anemones, there is what likely is some kind of underwater things, but the staff, and as you pull it out of the ground, there is a little puddle of mud left behind by it. It feels almost wet to the touch. It's not, but it feels it.
I'll show it round to the others. Any ideas?
So why would imagine that this was maybe what was hidden here. Instead to create something.
He looks. That's a toy.
Yes.
Toy
okay.
of an interloper.
Okay. So ridicules me some more, and what does it do?
This looks at Kabobo. He thinks it's my job to show him how to work things. Learn it yourself, locks it on. Mo, did you have something you want to say?
I was going to say, I'm going to compare this to the medallion we found. Does it look similar in color?
Definitely not. No, totally different designs,
Okay.
totally different aesthetic to it. And there's no guild markings on the staff. The amulet had the clear marking of House Dimir.
And this appeared when we were thinking or talking about what's hidden? Or
Yes,
what exactly?
you were asking. You guys were talking about those that would be bound by the contract and those that would be free to do whatever they want. He looked down, the root moved, and you found this strange staff there.
So, okay, so maybe they came here and the trees defended themselves.
You'd almost think if they had thoughts, they may have been asked to do something they did not like.
Okay. Yeah, I can't speak with plants. That's rather unfortunate.
The trees were asked to do something they wouldn't like?
Yeah, maybe. To hide something or to do something. Maybe they. I don't know. So, if I look, I don't know. So we were at one tree, and maybe if I go to another one, I know they are all identical, but. And I touch the tree and talk to it.
What do you say?
Can you show me what you hid or what you are hiding?
And Razir looks at, he was watching you do this and turns to Kabobo. He's like, does he always do this?
Not always.
Maybe not that one. Try the one next to it. Vessel, you do not need to make an insight roll to pick up his sarcasm.
Yeah. Yeah. But he called me senator, so I know that he is also not very, very insightful. So that's okay.
I think he's making fun of you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he really thinks that I'm a senator.
Also could be a way of referring to anyone who is a member of the Azorius Senate.
Right.
Kabobo, I want you to know that I was not selected to be with you because you are smart. I was not
selected I did know that.
To be with you because you have a great future in the Syndicate. I was certainly not selected to be with you because you had achieved great things. It seems you have one singular gift. That is to marry well.
Indeed. I did marry well, didn't I?
The Syndicate believes. Yes. And there's that, you know, again, when you're not 20 for your insight, he's bringing it up for some reason, obviously.
Yeah, I know, of course.
Yeah.
Well, last we saw my wife, though, was she unconscious, held by the...
Yeah. Well, she was one of the members that was stunned or dazed or whatever the hell happened to them by those grasping things.
Right.
Curious too, why aren't those down here? They seem to have no difficulty grabbing the Boros Legionnaires.
Well, I think there's something about this level that stops them.
It's restraining them.
Yeah.
Well, which
I
is why
think
we
this
think
is truly the vault. This is like the hidden the hidden vaults, and whatever is hidden here inside the one identical tree, which is a weird thing. But yeah.
Maybe we need to bring the others down here to wake them.
Yeah, or at least your wife, ex-wife,
Yes.
whatever.
well, that's one possibility. We could try that. I think Basul and
Razir
Argo
says,
might-
I'm sure that she won't like that, though. So you'd best be prepared.
Oh, what the vampire?
Why wouldn't she?
Well, I can't speak to what happened here, but Velustra and Garsuth seemed quite intent on preventing anyone from changing whatever it is that they have done.
That they have agreed to, yes.
So is Velustra able to command the trees?
I would think not. This, and he gestures his hand out in the sunlight. I can't imagine would be quite comfortable for her. Neither for those things she commands. But I am beyond the pale now. Can't you feel it? And you guys may remember when you guys first set foot down here, you felt a rush of life, and all of you mechanically got a hit dice back.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a try.
She likely won't like it. Her minions will not. And Garsuth, when he doesn't get his way. But I trust you all are equal to the task.
Yeah. He's just saying it's dangerous.
I wasn't talking to you, Kabobo. He's implying you're not equal to the task.
Right, of course.
Yeah, well, but we knew that beforehand, so, I mean...
Right. We came here.
Typical Azorius wants the peace but doesn't want to work for it.
Yes.
Well then.
Presumably we could.
And he stands up.
Yeah.
Is there anything further you wish of me, Kabobo?
I wish to be rid of you once and for all.
There is a way. Taps his nose. There is a way.
Of course. I'm not that thick.
He winks at you and then disappears.
So, Kabobo, you got haunted by him daily?
Yes. It's the first time you've heard his annoying voice, but for me it's a constant. one of the prices to pay of being Orzhov.
Yeah, I understand why your marriage failed. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Ooh.
I apologize. But he was useful.
Yeah, he was, kind of.
So then, what do you guys wish to do next?
Well, I think the plan is to try and bring someone who's stunned from upstairs and see if it revives them.
See if it helps at all.
I mean, whether we need to rest and recover our spells, because I could change my loadout.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Like, we are pretty weakened, and he is basically telling us that by doing this, we will definitely invoke the wrath of the geists that are in control of this place, as they will not want us to bring her down here.
I think maybe if we spend more time here or even rest here, it might be that the kind of life force that is bound here might empower us in a way, and they don't want this kind of life force to get free again or so. I don't know, but why should the Gruul? It makes no sense. And so if someone from the Simic Combine or so came here and broke the pact, why are they mad at the Azorius? I don't understand it.
Maybe you agreed to keep them out of here?
And why exactly was it so? Just looking at some of these half fish, half man creatures, why did it explode? It's just weird.
What explode?
So there was an explosion which killed the Senator Balistan.
Explosion is one way to describe it. A dispersion of spores is probably a more accurate way of describing it.
Yeah, it's more of a biological.
So maybe
weapon.
he let something inside of the tower which he shouldn't have done, and now the tower got corrupted in a way. That might be.
In that I could see.
So he was curious and let those creatures in from the sea, and then it got wrong or something.
So unless one thing you would, there is a inconsistency here that you're that maybe I'll just emphasize so you're not thinking it's some other reason. The fact that a bunch of spores came out of what appears to be a Simic Combine thing, that's not usual. The Gruul, the Golgari Swarm and the Simic Combine don't really work together on group tasks.
No, they would be... Their science, so to speak, would be counter to each other's.
Yeah, one is embracing life, one makes use of death, one is a careful kind of, science through testing and whatnot, similar to the Izzet League. The other is just the spread of unchecked nature. Or death.
Okay, so...
But that definitely seems to be, from what Dr. Cardinal told you, that's exactly what happened in that laboratory. A sudden dispersion of spores out from what seemed to be a Simic organism.
So it was a Golgari thing. Was someone in our venture from the Golgari Swarm?
Yes.
The elf, Yeva.
Right.
A Dev Kareen elf.
Okay, yeah.
And she was one of the ones who was asleep upstairs?
Yes. What was it your wife had said when you spoke to Mizik about this? You talked to her about what was going on, right? Because you had sort of a no bullshit conversation with her.
Right. Right. Where we agreed to watch each other's back. But what was the detail of...
Didn't she say something about after the Guild Pact, or when the Guild Pact broke, that there was some disagreement within the Combine?
Oh, right, because then she thought she wasn't right, that she might have been... That's when she thought there was danger here from possibly another Simic group.
What you think they may have deliberately sent in something that was sabotage of the spores, so that it would cause that, or?
But I mean, it would be strange to use Golgari. I mean, I guess if they were trying to frame them or make it look like something else, but...
Okay. So just imagine that there would be some part of the Simic who work together with the Golgari for some reason. Or just incorporated part of their mana, magic, whatever.
Well, just maybe they knew it would cause... cause a disaster to incorporate it?
Put yourself...
Yeah, okay. So maybe this tower, it was still, you couldn't reach it. And then the way inside was just getting some kind of prepared creature inside and then let it explode, like if you had spread a virus inside.
Oh, interesting.
And then hoping for whatever it's inside is just fall victim to it, and then you can grab the tower. But it didn't work out because the Gruul and whoever discovered this tower as well. And but it still does not tell me why Velustra thinks that the Azorius were the traitors. Just because they let them in or so?
Vessel, who were you with right now?
I'm with someone from the Izzet Guild and the Olive Guild and the Gruul. So it's one of those. And it's maybe... Or I'm a traitor because I'm with one of the other guilds as well. It just only a Gruul would be acceptable. Yeah. It's just reason to bring someone else here.
Maybe.
Is there a common color of magic between any of the involved parties here?
I think we were all complementary, the Demir and
the ones that you've been dealing with here. I'm
Like
thinking
here,
in particular.
right now, like us three.
Well, those no, the 3 that are a party to this and the 2 interlopers.
I don't know the colors by
So
heart.
here, let's do this. So Azorius. Sorry if I spelled that wrong. Blue and white.
Yes.
The Izzet, blue and red. Gruul, green and red. The Golgori, green and black. And Simic, green and blue. Red mana is part of the rage and destructive force that makes up the Gruul clans, or that inspires them and drives them. The green part of it is their druids of the old ways. You may at a glance think that the Gruul do not have a history or any kind of depth to their spiritual beliefs, but that would be a very, very costly mistake to make. They have druids who believe in ways and believe in things that predate the Guild Pact. Ways before this world was a city. That's where the green comes in. If you were to guess what type of mana a world tree might be associated with, what would you guys guess?
Green, obviously, but yeah. So the Golgari and the Simic might be able to modify, use whatever the world tree. They might use the same kind of magic or use a similar effect. Might be.
Dr. Cardinal, can you imagine taking a power source on par with the most rare magical artifacts found across the scattered plains and using that to warp flesh, like the Simic Combine wants to do, spread the corruption of spores or undead, or both, like the Golgori wants to do? I mean, you could almost, in a single stroke, transform an entire world with those types of things.
Or maybe someone has ideas about rewriting the entire plane. Which there might be a faction in plenty of guilds who might want to do that. Someone who wasn't satisfied with the status quo.
I can't understand Mo right now. He's very, very low in his voice.
Oh, Mo, sorry, Ingolf can't hear you.
You just talk a little bit louder.
Turn up the gain a bit.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit tired after COVID. Yeah, so I was saying, so I could see one faction wanting maybe to completely rewrite the world if they had this access to this sort of power.
Right.
Maybe someone who was encouraged by the breaking of the Guild Pact and thought now was the time to try and do something different this is something that happened in between the breaking and the reforming. maybe there was a conspiracy or a group that wanted to remake everything.
Yeah.
Maybe the Simic wanted to make it a water world or a...
Yeah, maybe just even simpler. Just imagine that this is an incredible source of green mana, and it was hidden.
Right.
And
Hidden
now,
from them, so they all share green mana, and the Gruul hid this from them.
And now the Golgari and Simic want to just tap into this power source. And so this surrounding here might be, but it doesn't look very Gruul to me. It looks more like Simic.
Oh, so the Simic hid it.
The surroundings would definitely not be Simic. You're thinking of the Celisnaya Conclave.
Or Cel's not, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but you said it's like the same tree over and over again, and that would not be.
The Simic
Conclave,
Combine, they do not really interest themselves in fauna, in plants. Their stuff is augmenting or changing or combining living, organic, biological. Yeah. Both those still apply to plants, but I mean like things that are not plants, fauna, not flora.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely would be of interest if you're right, and there is a source of green mana to be had here. Definitely would be something of interest to the Celisnaya Conclave as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of other guild representatives sleeping upstairs. Maybe if we got them all down here, we could find out a bit more about other guilds' motivations.
Yes, that's true. But how many of them can we... We're not very strong. The three of us. I mean, I'm not. I don't know about you guys. Kabobo was like, I don't even know if I could carry Mizzix down here. So for the metagame wise, Kabobo has a strength of 8. So even for a goblin, he is thin and wiry. So, I mean, I agree bringing them all down here would be ideal, but I do not know how we would transport multiple bodies.
You hear Trovik kind of turn over in his sleep, and if he was awake, perhaps.
Yeah, he could probably carry multiple people. Maybe we can.
I don't think Vasul's not a weakling either, is he?
No. Oh, he is. That's funny.
Okay. He's just big boned.
Yeah. He just hides that he's weak. His strength is 9, so he's not very. this gigantic Loxodon, but
I'm a lover, not a fighter, man. Come on.
Oh man, that's so funny. Yeah, so we're not, and especially if we're going to be trying to do this quickly so that we can avoid conflict, most assuredly with Garsuth. The other two, I'm not as frightened of, but Garsuth almost completely killed us. How can we come up with a strategy to quickly move them?
So that fight with Garsuth, to contextualize it, was after you guys fought, I think, 2 waves of those handy things. Didn't you fight something else before you faced Garsuth?
Yeah, we might have.
I don't remember you guys. If you very well could have, but I don't remember if you went in fresh with it. I thought that Trovik was still exhausted. Oh no, because you guys had, you definitely didn't, because you fought that that fungus swarm thing.
Yeah. No, I think that Kabobo knows that, but he still doesn't want to get in a fight with them right away.
And this place does have, it is a winding place, like with different passages leading, or different, open areas. So, and different ways of getting to the different levels. If you knew more about the layout of this place, you might be able to avoid that. You may not. There may not be just one route up there.
Yeah, that's also true.
I thought there was just one set of stairs.
There is the one set of stairs leading from the mid-levels up to the upper levels as part of the defenses, but from here to those mid-levels to where that laboratory was, those are give you a little more leeway.
Well, thinking about it a bit, the laboratory, would there be stretchers and gurneys with wheels on? If they were doing
in a lab, it's not a hospital.
Oh well, if they're doing like medical experiments, I was thinking.
The Izzet League is the only scientific guild that was part of this, and you guys again don't do medical, apart from like the crude cybernetic stuff you do on like Cyclopses.
No, I was just thinking if there was like a sick bay or a small medical thing, they might have wheeled things we could wheel people around on. Or alternatively, I could maybe build something.
Oh, now we're thinking. Maybe Dr. Cardinal could put something together.
Yeah, okay. I have also another
Especially
idea.
if we could get some of the smaller people.
Hold on. Ingolf's trying to say something twice now, and you guys have talked over him. Go ahead, Ingolf.
No, just we also have this Rakdos fellow, yeah, who might be very easily talked into fighting some ferocious gruel beast just to get his whatever his favorite demon back. So
yeah, Lizzie, you left him upstairs, right? He's watching on the bodies up there.
Yeah.
Well, we could maybe get him to help us move people because he can carry a lot. But I like the idea of trying to build some sort of like
I don't think you
or something we could like quickly. You'd have to go up and downstairs though, so that's tricky.
Yeah.
Unless I build one of those things with the track things they use to in the real world install big photocopiers and heavy equipment.
Well, even if it was Go ahead, Jeff. I was gonna say, even if it's something that we can put them on to drag them, like I do know that Kabobo can drag a lot more than he can carry.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had someone on something that he could drag their weight, he would be able to possibly move someone that he couldn't carry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So have we passed anywhere on the way down that would have spare parts, stuff that could be scavenged or repurposed?
Oh, there's a whole layer of machinery one level up from you. And
yeah, I quite like that as an idea.
Which idea, Mo? I'm not sure. There's a bunch of ones thrown out.
No, using the level above as a source of something to help carry people quickly or carry more weight than we could literally physically lift.
Like trying to make some kind of I don't know, what do you call it? I don't know what Kabobo would call it. Kabobo's not very mechanical.
Or even if it's like a stretcher.
Yeah.
Maybe with wheels on one end and you could just drag it.
Yeah, and then we have to go through the stairs and then it is not so useful anymore. But anyway, I think we just should learn from Trovik, who is basically at home here. and maybe we just have to rest a little bit, and then.
Oh, I think we might do, because because we rest, I can switch spells out, and I can do invisibility. But I certainly think a rest and deciding what spells we want to change to. If our warlocks like artificers, we can like select, or do you just have to know them?
As long as Trovik is asleep, we can't even leave the tower and come back.
Good point.
So,
Well, do we want to have like a long rest and see if Trovik wakes up?
that was my suggestion.
Yeah, I think that was already agreed upon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can
an
make
answer,
some
I think, yes,
potions.
Mo, the way that artificers work, you get to swap out from your list of spells each day, so that you can go back to the list. It's not like bards or, any of the, what do you call it, instant casters?
Yeah.
All right. So then, with you guys sitting down beneath the eaves, one thing that's curious is that throughout the entire period, the daylight does not wane. It remains in place all day. So you will be having to sleep in the daylight down here, but that should not be an impediment to you having a long rest if you like. And I
feel
think
like that might be comforting, actually, at this point.
You would think that you would have difficulty falling asleep with the light in your eyes or whatnot, but I think whichever one of you two decides to bed down while someone keeps watch, if that's what you're wanting to do, they find no difficulty drifting off to a very, very comfortable sleep. So, with that, guys, we will bring this session to a close. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for session 7 of our ongoing Down and Out in Precinct. All right, Anna. Anna says hi to everyone, too. Yes, hello, sweetie. She knows, these Sunday sessions, man, she knows the exact time we're calling it quits. The Down and Out in Precinct 6, our Ravnica 5th edition campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and you can find channels there dedicated to this campaign, this game, and every other game we run on the channel for the most part. There is also a link down below to the Heroes Save Villages campaign that we run on the channel. Unfortunately, it's such that the charity that benefits from our initiative here, SOS Children's Villages International, they've changed their service provider yet again, so that link is dead, but you can learn all about SOS Children's Villages International through that link. And we will soon have a donation link up so you can make further donations to the charity. All donations to the charity go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. It just goes to support the over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children who benefit from SOS Children's Villages International. Last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart players, the problem solvers, Mo, Ingolf, and Jeffrey. Thank you so much for playing today, guys. I know it was a lot of chatting with NPCs and puzzling things together. I promise I'll try and kill you harder next time. And speaking next time, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for our next session. Until then, we hope that we have given you a few hours. Take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in Zunak's Tower are getting up to. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.